The study of nonlinear functions helps in understanding and estimating certain real-world phenomena. Most of these functions are used for biological and natural phenomena. We are aware, however, that some of the nonlinear functions find applications in economics as well. A U-shaped cost function like an average variable cost or the total cost or the total variable cost are all explained with the help of quadratic or cubic functions. So, it is well known that there are certain nonlinear functions which are applicable in economics. There are 4 functions which we will be considering: the sigmoid function, the logistic function, the generalized logistic function, and the Gompertz function. After studying this module, you would come to know about a class of nonlinear functions under the mold of sigmoid functions. You would know about the nature of a logistic function, extend the logistic function to a generalized logistic function, understand the properties of a Gompertz function, and evaluate the problems of nonlinear functions. The sigmoid function. This is the most general of all. Sigmoid function is a mathematical relationship that yields an S-shaped curve, and hence it is called a sigmoid curve. While sometimes a sigmoid function is referred to as a special case of a logistic function, it could be better treated as a general form of all such S-shaped curves. There are other S-shaped curves like the Gompertz curve, the Augy curve, and the logistic curve. Sigmoid curves are most appropriate for describing cumulative distribution functions such as the integrals of the logistic distribution, the normal distribution, the student's t, probability density function, and so on. The integral of any smooth positive bump shaped function is a sigmoid function. Now, a formal definition of a sigmoid function. A sigmoid function is a bounded differentiable real function y that is defined for all real inputs of x or t, that is time, and has a positive derivative at each point. This implies that while t may change from minus infinity to plus infinity, the value of y will always remain positive. The sigmoid function is given by the formula s of t is equal to 1 upon 1 plus e to the power of minus t. What are the properties? The first property is that there are also pairs of horizontal asymptotes, that is t tends to plus infinity to minus infinity. Hence, the differential equation is dst dt is equal to c1 st bracket c2 minus st bracket closed. With the inclusion of the boundary condition providing a third degree of freedom, C3 provides a class of functions of this type. You would notice in the figure a sigmoid function, as you could see that it starts from minus infinity, and gradually as it goes from minus infinity towards 0, then when x is equal to 0, then the sigmoid function has a value, y value, which is half, and thereafter as x increases, as it keeps on increasing by 2, 4, 6 and so on, you would notice that the slope of the sigmoid function, the sigmoid function itself is rising, but the slope gradually keeps on declining till a point where it becomes, it tapers off and becomes a flattish curve parallel to the x-axis, asymptotically parallel to the x-axis. Many biological processes like the growth of tumors, demographic processes like the growth of population can be captured by this class of functions. Management concepts like the learning curve, which show an initial growth rate followed by an accelerated pace and a tapering off as the climax approaches over time, are described and can be measured by one or other type of a sigmoid function. When specific parameters are not known, the sigmoid function is a useful tool of measurement. Besides the logistic function, sigmoid function includes ordinary arctangent, the hyperbolic tangent, and other such functions, including the generalized logistic function. Now let us consider the logistic function, which is another function of this same class, that is the sigmoid class. In the case of a logistic function, in the initial stages the growth is approximately exponential, and then as the saturation begins, the growth slowly tapers off, and when the maturity phase comes, the growth virtually stops. The logistic function or the logistic curve is a common S-shaped or sigmoid curve with the equation f of x is equal to L whole by 1 plus e to the power of minus k into x minus x0, where e is the natural logarithmic base known as the Euler's number, x0 is the x value of the sigmoid's midpoint, and L is the curve's maximum value, and k is the steepness of the curve. For all values of x in the range of real numbers from minus infinity to plus infinity, the S curve is obtained with the graph of f approaching L as x approaches plus infinity and approaching 0 as x approaches minus infinity. The function was named in 1844 or 1845 by Pierre-François Verhulst, who applied it to the study of population growth. The logistic function is used in other fields as well. It is used in neural networks, ecology, psychology, and so on. The logistic function combines two growth patterns, one of exponential growth and the other of exponential decay. This gives rise to the particular S shape. When the first curve is a curve that captures the exponential growth, and the second shows the slowing down of the growth process. The third shows how we combine the first two, then we would get a logistic function. This is how we could derive a logistic. In the first picture, we can see an exponential function which we have already studied. It starts low and increases suddenly. Then in the second, we see a bounded exponential function which grows but starts to taper off and becomes almost parallel to the x-axis when it reaches, the function reaches a value of 10. And now if we combine the first two curves, the exponential and the bounded exponential, put them together, then we have a logistic curve which starts low, it starts to rise, and after a point there is a point of inflection, and then it starts to rise at a declining rate, and then it tapers off and becomes almost parallel to the x-axis, but asymptotically keeps proceeding along parallel to the x-axis. The generalized logistic function is a curve which is also known as the Richards curve. It is a generalized form of the logistic function. The function allows for more flexible S-shaped curve. The formula for the generalized logistic function is yt is equal to a plus k minus a whole upon bracket c plus q e to the power of minus bt whole to the power of 1 upon nu, where the y is equal to the population, t is equal to time, and the parameters are a is the lower asymptote and k is the upper asymptote, and if a is equal to 0, then k is called the carrying capacity, b is the growth rate, and nu, which is positive greater than 0, affects near which at asymptote the maximum growth occurs. Q is related to the value y0, and C usually takes the value of 1. Now let us combine all these values and parameters and have a look at the generalized logistic function in figure 3. Here you would notice that the function almost starts from 0, it begins to rise, and then as it comes to when x value takes 0, then the function, the height of the function, which is y, is around 0.4, and thereafter it rapidly rises so that when x becomes 1, then the function is almost at its maximum height, and then it never exceeds, the height never exceeds 1. So it is a sudden increase just between the range around the value where x is around 0. So there are two extremes. At one extreme we have the value of y being almost 0, and at the other extreme the value is almost 1. So a generalized logistic function equation, we have seen that it could also be written as yt is equal to a plus k minus a whole upon bracket c plus e to the power of minus b bracket t minus b m bracket closed, whole bracket closed, to the power of 1 upon nu. The same can be expressed as y t0 is equal to a plus k minus a whole upon bracket c plus 1 bracket close to the power of 1 minus nu, where m can be thought of as the starting time t0 at which including both q and m, and these can be conveniently written as yt is equal to a plus k minus a whole upon bracket c plus q e to the power of minus b bracket t minus m bracket closed to the power of 1 upon nu. This representation simplifies the setting of both the starting time and the value of y at that time. The logistic with the maximum growth rate at time m is the case where q is equal to q nu is equal to 1. A further extension of the logistic function yields another curve called the Gompertz curve. The Gompertz curve or Gompertz function was first established by Benjamin Gompertz. It is a sigmoid function used in modeling of growth curve that reaches a plateau after a long period of time t. Typically, this model is used for mathematical modeling for time series. Here, the growth is very slow both in the beginning and in the end. The right hand of the future value of the asymptote of the function is approached much more gradually by the curve than the left hand or the lower valued asymptote, in contrast to the simple logistic function in which both the asymptotes are approached by the curve symmetrically. It is a special case of the generalized logistic function. As a special case of the generalized logistic function, yt is equal to ae to the power of b minus be to the power of minus ct. Features limit t tends to infinity ae to the power of minus be to the power of minus ct is equal to ae to the power of 0, which is equal to a. B and c are positive numbers. B sets the displacement along x-axis, translates the graph to the left or right. C sets the growth rate. Y is scaling. E is the Euler's number. E is equal to 2.71828. Here are some examples of the use of the Gompertz curve. Diffusion technology is one example. Initially, mobile phones were very costly, hence the adoption of the technology was very slow. Then the period of rapid growth followed. Finally, when even rural India will adopt mobile phones, there would be a slowing down of the adoption of the saturation level they reach. The theory of demographic transition clearly stipulates that such a pattern exists. Initially, birth rates are low and death rates are high. The net population growth is low. Later, death rates fall drastically and birth rates continue to be almost the same, such that the rate of growth of population is extremely high. Slowly, the birth rate also falls, but the death rates fall slower. Hence, the population growth rate begins to decline. Finally, the birth and death rates both fall to a minimum. Marginally, births exceed deaths. Initially, the addition to the total population growth is very low, but slowly the population starts rising very fast and the total population rises, and finally the total population growth tapers off when it reaches a plateau. Modeling market development. This is another example. Initially, it is difficult to push a new product in the market. The growth of sales is very slow. Then there is a period of accelerated growth in sales revenue. As the base keeps growing, then fewer and fewer people are left with those who do not know of the new products or have not brought it. The difference between a Gompertz and a logistic function is somewhat subtle. Logistic function versus Gompertz. We could see that in this figure we have two functions. One is the blue line and the other is the red line. The blue line is the logistic function and the red line is the Gompertz function. Although they are very close to each other, you would notice that the logistic line is more squarish. Therefore, it starts at a lower point but suddenly rises almost at a right angle, and when it reaches the highest point, once again it starts to decline rapidly and becomes parallel to the x-axis. The Gompertz function initially is higher than the logistic function, but it gradually tapers off and then both the functions become almost parallel to the x-axis. These functions are based on certain parameters. Alpha is equal to 0.1, k is equal to 100, r is equal to 0.242. On the x-axis we have time, and on the y-axis we have n, which is number. This could be also described as a function such as the total sales revenue. In this sense, it is nearly very close to a product life cycle. Here n stands for the total sales, and these two curves are generated with the help of certain parameters, that is certain values of a, k and r. Both appear to be following the same sigmoid form, but the logistic curve is squarer. It makes it usable for the binary classes. It often is approximated by discrete categories, and this is known as the logistic approximation. The growth curve of the Gompertz is gradual compared to the logistic function. The logistic function suddenly starts to rise and equally suddenly falls up to a level of saturation. Finally, of course, they both coincide. Now, let us look at the problems of nonlinear models. Some of the problems of fitting nonlinear regression models are common, but some are unique. The basic problems are the following. The choice of nonlinear model needs to be made separately for each problem. There is no such thing as a generic nonlinear function, only there are lots of special cases. Genuinely, the choice of the nonlinear model should be based on the theory or by precedent. But in fact, in practice, the choice is made through ad hoc choices. The problem does not arise while dealing with linear models. Nonlinear models require a clear understanding of how the different parameters affect the function's growth and pattern. To look at many of the graphs, they may look very similar. They do belong to the same general sigmoid curve, class of curves, but each curve that is derived from the sigmoid curve has different parameters and perform very differently. Once the parameters change, they have different interpretations, yet they yield different graphs. As a result, there could be many curves, all of which are referred to either as sigmoid functions or separately as Gompertz, logistic, and so on. For choosing a particular nonlinear model, we need to be clear about what we are demanding of the curve or the function. We need to know which nonlinear curve is best suited for our needs. In nonlinear models, it is difficult to envisage the ultimate effect of any change in a parameter because the relationships between different parameters is very complex. Parameter estimation in nonlinear regression is more complicated and delicate than in linear regressions. In linear regressions, very often once the parameter is estimated, it remains the same. But in the case of nonlinear functions, some of the parameters the impact keeps on changing in different ranges. Sometimes we have to get initial estimates of the growth parameters, and another problem is that all this estimation cannot be done with the simple linear OLS model. And now let us summarize what we have studied. The four functions that we have considered over here are the sigmoid function, the logistic function, the generalized logistic function, and the Gompertz function. The sigmoid function is a mathematical relationship that yields an S-shaped curve, and hence it is known as a sigmoid curve. While some of the sigmoid functions are referred to as special cases of the logistic function, it could be better to treat the sigmoid function as the general function which is S-shaped. In the case of the logistic function, the initial stage of growth is approximately exponential, then there is a saturation which begins, and then there is slow growth and maturity, and growth stops. The generalized logistic function or curve is also known as the Richards curve, and the generalized form, it is the generalized form of the logistic function, and the function allows for a more flexible S-shaped curve. The Gompertz curve was first established by Benjamin Gompertz. It is a sigmoid function used in modeling any growth curve that reaches a plateau after a long time. Typically, this model is used for mathematical models of time series. Here, growth is very slow both in the beginning as well as the end.